The first thing we're going to do following reading the operating instructions is we're going to open up the box here so we can adjust the air pressure. And what you'll find inside the box is a consolidated control panel. When the machine was originally designed, we had individual components, but now due to manufacturing changes and efficiencies, we have one unit that's actually a regulator that actually controls our air pressure. It has a condensation bowl on it, and it also has a regulator as far as the air flow goes. So one is for pressure, this is pressure. This is for air flow, so the speed that the air goes through. And the bowl underneath here is that collects condensation out of the airline. The machine is fully air controlled. There is no electricity on the machine itself. So it's very safe to use, and what we're going to do is at the top here on this black knob we're going to pull up. When the orange is exposed, that means it's in the unlocked position. By turning either to the right or to the left, you either increase or decrease the air pressure. So right now this machine is set at about 60 pounds per square inch. And that's a good medium range for an individual. We're going to push the cap back down, and that locks that air pressure in place. Now, the next thing we can do is as we operate the machine, if the pads move in and out too slow, we can increase the airflow so that the pads move quicker. Vice versa, if the pads are moving too quick as to startle an individual, we may want to slow down the pad movement, and that's all done through the knob on the side of the airflow monitor. So by turning, we can increase and decrease the pressure, not necessarily the pressure, but the actual flow of the air through the machine, so it slows down or speeds up the pads. Right now I've already adjusted the machine for the operation we're going to do today. The other thing to do is to make sure once that's adjusted that the lock box is in the lock position, and that the individual overseeing the machine removes the key so that the user does not have access to the pressure adjustment. Okay, on the front of the machine we have three different things that actually can be adjusted to the individual users. One, we have the sliding neck pads, and for various individuals they like to feel the fur right up against their neck. Again, from a sensory standpoint, that can give them some security and comfort. Other individuals may not like that at all, and they'll want to leave these completely open, or even remove them. And to remove, you come to the center. There's a notch up here. You bring this forward and you actually lift out so that the hole is actually wide open. The second thing we need to adjust is actually the headboard. And the headboard actually has notches, and we're going to take a look around the back side here in just a moment so we can see how to adjust, because when the individual is in the machine, we want it to be comfortable on their neck, because they're going to be face down with their forehead on this pad. Okay, so to adjust this headpiece, we need to take and loosen this knob, and then the knob opposite on the other side, which I've already done. You'll see here there's a little ladder of notches. So we want this is a little bit high, we want it to come down just a notch. So what we do is we lift up, we drop down, and go back into the next notch down. We want to make sure, though, we are in the same notch on both sides of the machine. Once we are, we take and tighten both knobs securely. You don't have to over-tighten it, just enough to, the friction will hold the headboard in place, and you're set to use the machine. So it's very important when we get ready to adjust the headpiece that we get it to where the forehead, not the chin, but the forehead fits in this lamb's wool sleeve, so it comfortably holds the forehead in place. If we get the chin out there, we're really trying to push our shoulders through the opening, and that's not the way the machine was designed. It was designed for our forehead to go into the sling. Another piece that we want to adjust on the front end is actually the pull lever that operates the machine. And just a little tip, this emergency push button, when you push that, it disengages the lever that you pull. So nothing happens. And if they happen to be in a situation where they're pulling on the lever and they won't let go, you can push that emergency release button and the sides of the machine will release. Sometimes what happens is they'll get in and go, oh, the machine's not working. One of the things I suggest is you come over here first and make sure this lever is pulled up out of the emergency push position. So we want to make sure that this lever is up and then the pads will actually engage. So to adjust the handpiece, what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up these two knobs, and what that allows us to do is actually slide the handpiece forward. We can go side to side, so there's a side notch. So if the individual, based on how that they're configured, if they need the machine moved to one side or the other for them to comfortably use the pull lever, or if they have long arms, we want to move the actual box out toward the front so that there's it's very comfortable for them to reach through and pull the lever. So when we're in the adjusted position, what we want to do is get this lever to where when our forearms are resting on the pad, that our hands can get around and pull the lever. We want that to be very comfortable, easy to reach, but it's not that the arms are crunched up to do it. They're comfortably sitting on that pad and easy to reach that lever. Another little tidbit is when this lever is in place, everything works good. If they tend to play with the knob and loosen it up, there is a potential that they can snap this knob off when they pull really hard. So in between uses, I would suggest that you just make sure that the knob is secure and tightened in place. As you might have seen on the movie Temple Grandin, that was played by Claire Danes, started out with the whole idea of a cattle trough. And Temple noticed that when the cattle went to get in the trough that they were anxious, and when they exited the trough they were calm. And so looking from this perspective, it could be a little bit intimidating, but really it's very easy to use. And what we want to do is we want to show you how to adjust the pads. Now, naturally, the male and female bodies are very different, and the pads can be adjusted to the specific body style. So typically on a guy, the shoulders are going to be a little wider and the hips may be a little narrower. Vice versa, on a female, we might have narrower shoulders and wider hips. And this machine actually allows us to adjust for those differences in our body style. We can go all the way from a 5-year-old child all the way up to a 250-pound adult. So there's a wide range of individuals that can use this machine to take advantage of the calming effect on their nervous system. Next, we're going to take a look at the back end of the squeeze machine and look at how to adjust the pads in and out for the different body configurations. And so right here on the side we have two knobs, and you loosen up the knobs, and again there's a fingerboard notch or ladder notches so that you can take and slide the pad into the main part of the notch, and you can move it in and out. So again, if you have, say you have a male, you want the shoulders to be a little wider in the front and narrower in the back. So basically, offset, get it in the notches, lock it back down. If you have a very small individual who just their body width is very small. You can take and actually remove the knob, and there is another hole to where you can move the knobs into a center location for the narrow individuals. So if you're dealing with a early intervention, once you get to the 5-year-old and up, you can take and move to those other knobs where if your population is in that body style. If you would like more information on the squeeze machine, please feel free to go to our website, which is www.therafin.com, and click on the squeeze machine. Additional information is also available through one of our distributors, Patterson Medical. So go to pattersonmedical.com and look up the squeeze machine for more information and how to purchase it. Thank you.